Not all ready-made reading journals are created equal. I've learned that over the course of my reading journal review series. So how does this one from Tiefossi measure up? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Erin, and even though I love keeping my own DIY reading journal in a blank dot grid notebook, I also love reviewing pre-made reading journals so you can see if they might be the right fit for your reading habits. This reading journal comes from the folks at Tiefossi, who I often work with and whose notebooks I love and use, but they're not sponsoring this video and they didn't supply me with this reading journal. I bought this one myself. At $19.98 US before shipping, this reading journal is definitely one of the more affordable that I've looked at, but for some reason Tiefossi doesn't stock this one on their website. It's only available in their Amazon store. Also, once you factor in shipping to Australia and the exchange rate, it loses a little of its affordability appeal, but still cheaper than some of the others I've tried. I opted for the black cover since that's the only one that was available when I purchased it, but they also have a teal and a pink cover version, and some of the photos have a white one too, but it doesn't seem to be available right now. The product listing says this reading journal will make your reading more enjoyable and organized, efficiently managing your reading schedule. I'm here to see if that's really the case. Let's take a full flip through of the journal, then give it a road test and pen test to see if it really stands up. Okay, just like we always do when we review a reading journal, let's take a flip through everything first, just to get an idea of what we have inside. We have a nameplate page on the inside cover here, no Tiefossi logo on the inside end sheet, just a solid white page, which can be fun. You can decorate that stuff. This feels a little cobbled together to me. This is like a Canva graphic. The colors, for no reason. I suppose maybe they somewhat go with the cover. The belongs to font has a lot of ornamentation, but so does this one. So like, it just kind of feels like a lot. It's not the most important part of the journal, so I'm gonna let it go. Also, those of you who have been around for a while will know I'm not a big fan of butterflies on stationery. So a butterfly being the feature of the cover of all of the reading journal options doesn't make me super happy, but I know most people aren't so anti-butterflies on stationery as I am, so it's an understandable choice. 5 signs of a book lover that may indicate you are addicted to books in the best possible way. When you read, you sometimes forget to eat. Your dreams are set in book world, not the real world. You love rainy days because they offer a perfect excuse to stay in and read. This is correct for me so far, not so much the first two. Your dream home features a floor-to-ceiling library complete with a ladder. Yeah, that would be nice. And you always believe the book surpasses the movie. Most of the time. There are rare exceptions to this though. Note, the love of books is great for self-development and mental health. I agree with that. I'm just not sure why we're using this font. I don't have anything particularly against a font like this as a general rule, but it's not super easy to read. I think if you're going for body text, just a plain old serif or sans serif font is going to be a bit more approachable. What's your favorite book? Space to write your favorite book, okay? Appreciating literature. In a world of ever-evolving distractions, appreciating literature in all its forms becomes incredibly important. Whether you dive into a paperback novel, explore an ebook, or immerse yourself in an audiobook, engaging with a diverse range of literature is essential. I don't know about essential, but it's very nice. Stories from your childhood hold immense power. They ignite a love for reading and impart valuable lessons. Which stories captivated you as a child? You've probably only got room to write one there. Do you recall the first picture book you ever read? Nope, I don't. I read a lot as a kid. I could probably ask my mum though. Mind map. Why does this feel like a school assignment? Research an author of your choice and create a mind map in your exercise book using the following headings. Create a mind map in your exercise book. What exercise book? This is a reading journal. If you want me to make a mind map, let me do it in here. This feels to me like they've taken it from a teacher resource and didn't change the copy, maybe. Okay, author's name, overview of the author's life, if you have that information. Styles and genre of the author's work, key themes explored in the author's work, and overview of the author's published works. Hello, mister. Then we have this reading reflection part. Once again, it's referring to an exercise book, but they've also left space here, so it seems like you could fill this out just in the journal if you wanted to. This is so weird. Reflect on your reading habits. What is your favorite genre to read? On average, how many books do you read each year? Do you have a favorite author? I wonder if this continues. No, it doesn't. Okay. A reading challenge, yay. This is the kind of thing I like to see. 10 books reading challenge. Why is this title so far over this way? Can we not just put that back in the middle? That'd be good. So you colour in a book after you finish it on the shelf. Challenge your friends to see who can complete their library first. That's pretty cute. 10 books is not a lot. I imagine that you could turn that into a more specialised reading challenge. If you're someone who's keeping a reading journal, I feel like maybe you're probably someone who's also reading more than 10 books in a calendar year. So you could define that if you wanted to be like 10 books in genres I don't usually read, or 10 books from a particular decade, or whatever it would be. Then we have a reading summary on this side. I don't like it already. I don't like it. Oh no. First of all, the boxes are really weirdly sized. It's feeling a bit like a spreadsheet. So like, yeah, you can wrap your text if you want. If you have like a longer title, you can do more than one row. But if they had made them smaller, you would have been able to fit a lot more books on here. And also, I hate these random leaves and flowers that are just scattered around. Why? I don't like that. The rating column is kind of cute though. I like that it's hearts instead of stars. That's just a nice little point of difference. Title, author, genre, and rating. I just don't think that's formatted very well. You can only fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books again. So are they the same 10 books? You could, I guess, do your top 10 highest rated books of the year or something like that, but that's not a lot of space. It's not enough space for my liking. Then we're into a book review, and I have a feeling this is the entire, oh no, I was gonna say the entire rest of the book, but then I saw some other stuff, so that's okay. There's more still to see, thankfully. So double page spread, I think. Yeah, I'm still not into this font, but like it does make more sense as a title. Thankfully, the rest of this is much more readable, much more approachable. Title, genre, author. I have no idea what this illustration is here for. It says legends, as though like maybe there'd be a key that you're supposed to refer to, but there's not. My feelings about this book, and then we've got dot points. Best book I've ever read. I've read better. Must read. I did not like it at all. This book made me cry. I will recommend to friends. I could not finish. So boring. Wish I hadn't read this. I wonder if they want you to like check the little circle, put a tick in it, or if you're supposed to like circle the whole text. I guess you could highlight it. There's a little section for a story summary here. I know some people like to include a summary in their reading journals. I don't, especially I tend to skip that. Best moments, you've got space for 4, but not a lot of room to describe them. Worst moments, likewise. Space for 4 favorite quotes, that's a lot. Although you could just write bigger and cover the whole area. What's this got down here? Novels. The little book says novels, and it's got some flowers growing out of it. That is actually kind of cute. Up here we've got date started, date finished, and how much I enjoyed this book, which is not dissimilar to your feelings about the book, but this is in like an out of 5 kind of a way. Once again, not stars, circles, not hearts either. What I expected, and we've got some dot grid space here. Why this book catch my attention is not great grammar. Why did this book catch my attention? What about this book caught my attention? There are so many better ways that you could probably phrase that, but anyway, we have a section for that. And words I want to add to my vocabulary. I actually do like this. This is something my channel members have been discussing recently, and I think it's really fascinating when you come across a word that you didn't know, or that you've heard but you didn't know exactly what the definition was. You can write it down. To me, that would be more useful on a single page, like a dedicated page for new words for your vocabulary, but seeing it included at all is an interesting thing, I think. And then there's a notes section down here, which just feels like a massive afterthought. I do like the layout of this. I think it looks okay. And the header is centered this time, which is nice, but it does seem usable enough, but it doesn't also seem particularly exciting to me. There's no space for a book cover, so if that was something you wanted to include, you could, I guess, do a little one and put it up the top or in one of your dot grid spaces, if that was something you were interested in. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 seems to be the magic number for this journal before you move on to other things. Okay, so if they have those pages back here before the book reviews, this like 10 books reading challenge and summary, again, and it's just all divided into chunks, I could be okay with that. We have this nice empty note section. This is dot grid paper, by the way. It's got a very faint, hopefully you can see that, dot grid on it here. I think that would be a cute place to put all your book covers if you didn't want to include them on the book reviews, but you still wanted to have them somewhere. Self-development quotes, great. Embrace each new day as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. Believe in your potential, cultivate your strengths, and never underestimate the power of your own determination. Remember, the greatest investment you can make is in yourself. Look, I don't disagree, but I don't need that in my reading journal, thanks. Next, let's tackle a more challenging endeavor together. Go, go, go. Okay. 25 books reading challenge. Okay, we're moving up in the world. Let me reframe this in my head. Rather than being like, we have a 10 book reading challenge, that's not enough. Maybe this is encouraging someone to read more. Maybe you're building up reading as a habit. This time they're a bookshelf. They're the same bookshelf 3 times, which is fine, I guess. 25 is not divisible by 3 evenly, so how many books do we actually have here? Okay, there are 8 books on a shelf, so actually there are only 24 book covers here to color in on the 25 book reading challenge. That's kind of silly. Of course, you can just draw yourself an extra one to make it work, but you shouldn't have to. Just call it a 24 book reading challenge if that's the case. Okay, and then we have our spreadsheet again. And this time we have 13 spaces here, so 26 reading summaries. You can color in 24 books and fill out 26 reading summaries for your 25 book challenge. Fantastic. We love to see it, don't we? Wow, we're getting a lot of Mitsu in this one, aren't we? Hello, Mitsumu. Then we're back into our book reviews. I'm assuming we'll have 25, but maybe it'll be 24, maybe it'll be 26. Let's find out. 15. Mitsu's on the move again. 16. Oh, look at that. We actually do have 25 book review spaces. So you're just going to have to leave one of your spreadsheet slots over here empty, I guess, or not review a book. We're back to our notes section, dot grid paper, add your book covers, add your trackers, whatever it is, print your story graph stats. Oh no, there's another self-development quote, and it's Nietzsche. The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try it, you will be lonely often and sometimes frightened, but no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself. Now let's tackle a more challenging endeavor together. Go, go, go. 50 books reading challenge. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, which multiplied by 3 gives us 51. I would prefer too much rather than not enough, so I guess that's okay. Now that I've come to expect it, okay. Still 13 reading summary spaces to a spread though, or to a page rather. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of those, which is 52, so I think I could be okay with that. Can we just not have this random sprinkling of decoration that detracts from the page, please? I don't like that at all. I'm assuming we've now got 50 book reviews. Let me count. I'll edit this so you don't have to count with me. 48, 49, 50. And then notes. And then a dot grid page. And that's the end. Reading is easy, thinking is difficult, according to Benjamin Franklin, apparently. Is there anything in here? No, there's nothing in there. All right, that's our Tiefossi reading journal. From start to finish. Wow, okay. Just from touching the paper, it doesn't feel like it's their 160 GSM dot grid journal paper that I'm used to in the notebooks that I've got from Tiefossi. I've used a bunch of Tiefossi notebooks. I love them. Typically, they're great. I don't think this one's built to the same specifications. Let's take it for a good road test some pens, try out a couple of these pages and just see how it goes. When I review reading journals like this, if they're really, really good ones, I'll do my best to try and preserve the journal. I have run giveaways on a couple of them on my channel in the past. This one I'm not feeling super enthused with, so I don't mind using up a couple of the pages. I'm still going to try and be mindful about it, but when I'm done with this one, I'll take it to a community book swap and leave it there for someone to take if they want to. All right, we're going to try a few pens on this last glued page here. This is normal. Most journals have a weird glued page like this. They don't really work so well for most things. I'm going to start with some fountain pens. This one's a Pilot Kakuno, it's a medium, and I have this one inked with Van Diemen's Pas de Deux. I never know what to write when I'm testing pen swatches, so I'm just going to write what it is. That's looking pretty good, but it is a fairly light color. I can see it's probably not fully dry yet, but a little bit of ghosting through the page. For another fountain pen, this one's the Ferris Wheel Press Lord of the Rings Gandalf pen. I have this one inked with Diamine's Overcast from the Advent calendar last year. That one is a bit darker, so that'll give us a good little look at potential ghosting. Yeah, there is a little. It's not bad though. This one's the Lamy Joy, the italic nib set. Let me just see if it will go today. I haven't used it a bit. Wait, do you even? Oh, you don't even have a cartridge in. Never mind. Let's try the Tom Studio Lumos. So a fine liner with fountain pen ink. Lumos, I forgot how to spell for a second there. And this one has the Tom Studio Black, just the one that comes with the pen. Always have to try a black. While we're here, since it's kind of in the same category, I thought we'd do the Sakura Pigma Micron in the 03, because it will give us a similar kind of a vibe. Fine liner things, you know. This one's waterproof. Gosh, isn't it funny how a fountain pen just makes you want to write nicer? Let's try the Tombow Fudenosuke. This one's a soft tip, apparently, in case you like to do big headers or something like that. Oh, I messed up my strokes a little bit at the end there, but that's okay. It'll still give us an idea of how it's going. I'm also going to try the other end of the Lumos. I've got the chisel tip in here with the Tom Studio Damson ink. So we'll try and go a bit italic for this one. I haven't practiced in a while. Oh, I'm going to write the wrong word. Okay, I wanted Lumos and I've immediately gone to do an O. So I guess we'll just make it a different word. Let's go look. That's a bit ridiculous, but there we go. This one's Damson. Look, it's not my best work, but we're just here to test out the pens, right? Look, Damson. We always have to try a Tombow dual brush pen. This is the 228, which is like an olive green kind of a tone. We've stopped caring about the handwriting, apparently. Tombow dual 228. And this is an Archer and Olive acrylograph in black, so I thought that could be a good indicator as well. All right, I'll just give that a second to dry. How are we looking? Oh yeah, we got some ghosties. Particularly the acrylograph. You can see through the paper there quite well. It hasn't bled, but it's bordering on it. You can also see the Tombow dual brush pen. You can see the look Damson. Not so much the fine liners, you can see a bit of the Fudenosuke as well. So the paper is definitely not as resilient as you get in the Tiefossi journals. I use a Tiefossi for my reading journal and it is way better at holding up to pens than this is. Just going back to the start here, I'm not really interested in these first pages. Reading reflection. I mean, we could answer the questions, I guess, but I'm not writing anything in the notebook for these. I don't have a favorite book of all time. I have a lot of favorite books. I have lots of books that I love, but I don't have one favorite. The first book that comes to mind when they ask which stories captivated you as a child is 45 and 47 Stella Street and Everything That Happened by Elizabeth Honey. Fantastic Aussie children's book in case you ever want to check it out. I don't recall the first picture book I ever read, but I bet it had a cat in it. I'm not doing this. My favorite genre to read changes a little bit depending on my mood, but I do love contemporary romance and I do love romantasy. Sometimes high fantasy. On average, how many books do you read each year? It varies at the moment. Well, last year it was 65, 64, something like that. Do you have a favorite author? I have a few that I will always go back to and read anything that they release. B.K. Borison, Ashley Poston, Vari McFarlane, Bridget Kemmerer, off the top of my head. We know what it looks like when you colour in books. I do kind of want to try one of these, but at the same time I also don't. No, I don't think I will, because that does affect the function of the journal for somebody who is using this, but I might just do the very last book review at the very back of the journal. And I do want to mention, it does lay flat like other Tiefossi notebooks, like at least it has that going for it. Let's do this one right here. We are in the very back of the journal, and let's go with this pen because I just feel like it. All right, I'm just gonna fill this out with the last book that I read because I think that would be interesting. It was called What Fury Brings by Trisha Levenseller. It's romantasy. My feelings about this book. I'm gonna underline them, I think. I have read better. That's kind of the only thing I think I would underline here. I did enjoy it. I need somewhere in between here where it's like, I liked it, but I wouldn't read it again, kind of a vibe. Oh, how do we summarize this one? Matriarchal society, princess, kidnaps brute prince to take as husband, further political agenda, and dress him up in skirts. Mistaken identity, enemies to lovers, tropes in reverse. That's kind of how I'd sum this one up. Best moments. I honestly can't think of any off the top of my head. It would be a little spoilery also, so I'm just gonna say Thanos in makeup. That's kind of it, really. I can't think of anything else that I could add there that isn't super spoilery. Worst moments. There's a particular device in this book. I'm not going to write it down because I feel like I might get demonetized, but there's a particular device they use in this book on men who have wronged women, and it's a lot. Favorite quotes. I didn't write any down, but maybe Goodreads can give me one. There's not really anything there that I want to do either as a favorite quote. I guess I'll just write one anyway. It'll do. It's not a particularly great quote, but it'll do. I started this one on March 26 and I finished it on April 1. Not an April Fool's joke, that's just when I finished it. What I expected from this book. That's what I expected from this book. Why did it catch my attention? Okay, there were definitely no words that I came across that I wanted to add to my vocabulary, but I will use this section to add my Peach rating system, which if you aren't familiar, I have a video about how it works. This is how I rate my books. P stands for plot, E stands for enjoyment, A stands for artistry, C stands for characters, and H stands for heart. I gave this one 4 out of 5 for the plot because it was actually a very interesting concept. This book takes a lot of stereotypes and tropes, both in society and in romance books, and flips them on their head, so everything that we associate with happening to the women happens to the men, which was quite a fascinating concept. Enjoyment, I'm giving it 3 out of 5. It was okay. Artistry, likewise, 3 out of 5. No particular gripes with the writing, but I didn't feel like it was anything special either. At least not for me. Characters, 3.5. They were interesting, but not my favorite. And for heart, 3.5 as well, which gives me a total of 17 out of 25. When we divide 17 by 5, or by 25 and then multiply it by 5, either way will get you the same outcome. That's 3.4 stars. So let's color in this part. How much I enjoyed this book. 3.4, I'm just gonna go with a half. 3.5, we'll round it up. I suppose you could draw stars in here if you wanted. It's giving pentagram or Dragon Ball. Okay, do I have any notes? Not really. It works pretty well, actually. I don't know about why did this book catch my attention having so much space. I don't know about what I expect. Honestly, all of this could just be doc grid and I could just put my review here. I think I'd be okay with that. Maybe a space for a book cover if you're into that kind of thing, but this book review actually functions pretty okay. And that is the majority of this notebook, right? Like there are stacks of them. It's most of what you get in here. So that's probably good that this functions okay. Do I want more from the journal overall? Yes, but I mean, it's probably not a bad starting point, I guess. Let me put it through my rubric and see how it comes out. Much like my Peach book rating system, I've devised a reading journal rating system. Let's score the Tiefossi reading journal on these 4 criteria: cover, internal aesthetic, practicality and function, and enjoyment. The cover is fine, I guess. I'm really trying to set aside my disdain for butterfly stationery here, but I still think it's a fairly average one, especially knowing how gorgeous some of Tifossi's notebook covers are. The gold foil on the header is pretty, but I still don't like the font, and I always love to see a reading journal with a pretty spine, so if you put it on your bookshelf next to your actual books, it will look nice there. This one has no spine detail at all. It's a bit underwhelming. I'm going with 2 stars. Next, internal aesthetic. Not my favorite. The font choices throughout feel inconsistent. There was that one page with the weird heading alignment, and those leaves and flowers on the reading summary pages. For some reason, those drive me crazier than anything else. That said, I do respect that they've tried to give it some character. Of course, you can add your own washi tape, stickers, and scrapbook paper if you wanted to change up the vibes, but based purely on what's already on the pages, I'm giving it 2 stars again. Practicality and function is arguably the most important part of a pre-made reading journal, and this one does function okay. The book review pages are definitely its strongest feature, and while I don't feel like they're perfect, they do the job just fine for most novels. Non-fiction readers, I'd love to hear your thoughts on these review pages too. Could you see them working for you? The mismatch in numbers on the book challenge pages versus the bookshelves where you're supposed to colour them in is a little baffling, especially on the 25 book challenge when the summary pages that follow don't accommodate enough books. But on the whole, I think it could function pretty well as a basic bare bones reading journal for anyone who prefers no frills, so 2.5 stars. And finally, enjoyment. I can't say I had a great time with this reading journal. There's a lot I like to track in my own reading journal, and this one didn't really offer any of it. Those initial pages feel very much like an afterthought, especially with all the mentions of in your exercise book, so it doesn't really feel like a reading journal made by someone who actually reads or who keeps a reading journal themselves. 2 stars. That brings us to a total of 8.5 out of 20, which brings us to a final star rating of 2.13. It certainly wouldn't be my choice for a reading journal, but maybe you disagree. Did you interpret any of this journal's prompts differently to me? Did you dig the font? Could you see a way to use a section that I didn't consider? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. In case you're keen to see what else is out there, here's a link to my playlist of reading journal reviews to date, and right below that is a video about starting one from scratch in case that feels more like your vibe.